friends, it's Miss Sarah. Welcome to another First Chapter Friday. Today we're going to read the beginning of Lasagna Means I Love You, and this is by Kate O'Shaughnessy. So this book is about Mo. Her nan died, and her uncle decides he doesn't want to take care of her, so she's stuck in foster care, and she's hating it, but she has her nan's notebook that reminds her to live her life and get pets and color and do all the fun things and not to forget about her. And one day, Mo actually finds a recipe book, a family recipe book with stories and a whole bunch of recipes. And even though it's not her family's recipes, she decides to start cooking them, and she's asking everybody else for a whole bunch of recipes so that she can cook things and feel love again. And she's really hoping that maybe, just maybe, asking for all these family recipes, that someone in long lost family member will come and find her and take her out of foster care. But things start to go downhill, and it's really up to Mo to figure out how to cook up a solution. So the beginning of the book starts with Thursday, June 8th. Dear Nan, you died on a Tuesday. Given how much you hated Tuesdays, it makes sense it would cement its place in history as the worst day ever. Uncle Bill gave me this notebook, the special one you got for me right after your funeral. That was about a month ago now. I like the cats and the laser beams on the cover, and I've already stuck a jet sticker on the back. I think I've read the letter you wrote for me on the first few pages over 30 times. I even have parts of it memorized. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to write back. Maybe you weren't expecting me to write you a letter. Maybe you were hoping I would fill the pages with thoughts about the new hobby you asked me to start. I know learning how to knit tiny sweaters for stressed and featherless rescue parrots helped distract you after Mom died. I know that's why you wanted me to start a hobby. For the record, I couldn't care less about ferret racing or palm reading, but thanks for the suggestions. So much has happened that I don't have any space in my brain for a new hobby, no matter how much you think it would help. I've been dreading writing to you about what's been going on, because almost none of it is good news, but I need your advice, which is why I'm writing you this letter in the first place. In 4th grade, when we were doing that essay project, Miss Lee, my ELA teacher, do you remember her, told us that using lots of interesting details and dialogue could help make our writing feel real. And if I make it real enough, maybe you'll find a way to answer me back. You even said yourself, if anyone can find a way to communicate from the afterlife, it's you. All I know is that I need to feel like that's possible right now, really, really badly. So I'm going to try to write about it exactly like it happened. The first piece of bad news is that your funeral wasn't anything like what you wanted it to be. There were no disco balls, no open bar, no karaoke. It was so serious, so final. You would have hated it. Uncle Bill made me wear black. When I told him it wasn't anything like what you would have wanted, he said, if it had been the funeral Ma wanted, Elton John would have performed. I crossed my arms. Then you should have hired Elton John. He rolled his eyes at me. Oh, come on, not you too. I didn't remember much from the actual funeral. Crystal and her family came, including her grandparents, 2 of her cousins, and her 4-day-old baby brother, Charlie. Crystal sat next to me and never once let go of my hand, even though she hates how my palms always get so sweaty. What I can remember most is how swollen and puffy my face felt, and that the visiting area smelled like old soup and stale coffee. Uncle Bill and I went straight back to our apartments after the funeral was over. That leads me to my second piece of bad news. I flopped down on the couch without taking off my shoes, which I know is a bad habit, but even the idea of reaching down to slip them off seemed like too much effort. My whole body was buzzing with exhaustion, even my brain, most of all my brain. I could sleep for 1,000,000 years. Hey Mo, can we talk? So if you'd like to see what happens to Mo, where she goes, and what recipes she cooks up, just give us a call at the children's department or come visit us and we can show you where it is. Have a great Friday, friends.